Alright, we're back at the truck here, and as you can see, I've taken off the cherry picker here on the back, and I've gone ahead and I've coated the bed and the sides with some sealant type stuff that you would use on decks or siding, just to give it a little protection. I really didn't need it, I suppose, on the bed, because that's all treated and it would have been fine anyway, but figured to get it to match I would do everything. And I didn't change really the color. This is the clear stuff. I didn't want to use a dark stain or paint it because I don't know what color I want to do the cab yet. And I figured, you know, wood goes with everything, so hopefully it'll protect it for a while and it'll last. But today I'm going to go ahead and crawl under it, and I'm going to redo the fuel lines because I only put them in there temporarily, kind of to move it, because I didn't have the parts I needed to do it the way I wanted to. So let's take a look at what I got. Alright, here's what I got for the fuel line. I got the nylon line. The original line in this thing is stainless steel, so it's a real kind of a pain to flare or do anything with the tools that I have. So I chose to use nylon tubing because it's going to be very flexible, easy to get around in the frame. It's a lot easier to work with than stainless steel or even regular steel. And it has the ability to use these quick connects, which I have on the sending unit and on the other end on the fuel filter, and there's another connection for the return line. So just give you kind of an idea how these work. There's a bead on the fuel line itself, the steel part of it, and there's a little plastic clip that goes on there and holds everything together. And there's the part that attaches to the fuel line, and that just kind of slides in there. And let's see if I can do this with one hand. You push it on. Maybe I can do this with one hand. Maybe not. But the idea is you push it on, and those clips click in and basically hold the line together. So I should be able to do this with these clips that I bought. I'm going to go ahead and grab a little chunk and show you what was the original clip on the stainless steel line. Alright, here's the original lines that are on the stainless steel fuel line here, and I probably could have, these are from the front tank, but the rear tank has the same thing. I probably could have used some sort of a fitting here and threaded on with a union or something, but like I said, with the tools I have, it's kind of hard to flare that stuff. And I don't think I don't know if a brass compression fitting would work on stainless steel, and I don't really want to try it. So this is what we're going to do with the nylon there and those black clips, is replace these. I don't know how well you can see it, but they kind of work in the same way. There's a piece of kind of a piece of flexible steel in there, like a lock. I can't really pull one out to show you, and it's not really focusing very well. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see what that does, but that does the same thing as these plastic clips, but this nylon is just easier to work with. So I'm going to crawl into there and see if I can get these connections off the top of the tank. It might be kind of difficult because there's not a lot of room there, but we'll give it a shot. Well, here is the setup I have now, which is just a regular rubber hose with a couple of hose clamps on there. And I don't really want to keep that. It's just a temporary thing to get it out of the shop and move it around a little bit. I don't want to keep that because this hose is not made for the pressures that fuel injection runs. So I'm going to actually be replacing all the way from the filter back to the tank, way back there, with nylon line. Another reason I want to replace it is these bends in this stainless steel. The original line are not the way they should be bent, because I had to move. I needed about 2 feet. I had to move it over because we moved the tank. So I'm going to replace the whole line, both the feed and return line. I'm going to leave the vapor line alone because that was actually pretty close to long enough. But I'll replace both of those, and I'll have those plastic quick connects here at the filter, and this one on the return line actually has a female end, so I'll use that single piece of steel with this original quick connect, and then a plastic one right about here, all the way back to the tank. So that should make it a little bit safer and kind of clean it up in here a little bit. And then we'll be good to go. But first thing I got to do is relieve the pressure at the engine so I can take these lines off without spraying gas everywhere. Alright, we're under the hood now, and I'm going to show you where I relieve the fuel system pressure so we can get the fuel filter off and replace the lines. And it's this valve right here. It's a Schrader valve, just like you would have on your tires. And I'll take the cap off that and put a screwdriver in it and release the pressure. But I'll zoom you in so you can get a better shot. Alright, that's pretty good. Hopefully I don't bump the camera while I'm doing this, but I'll take the cap off. Then I'm just going to take the tip of a screwdriver and put it in there and let the gas out. There we go, now it's depressurized. Normally I would have had a rag around that so it didn't spray everywhere, but if I had the rag you wouldn't have been able to see anything. So there we go. I can't really get the camera to focus any closer than that, but you can see the little peg I was pushing on there, just like on a tire. Well, I've got the fuel filter out. It's quite nasty. I wanted to show you what was in it. Hopefully there's enough left to pour, but that's just black gas. It's heavy too. This filter was junk. Full of crap. I'm glad I replaced it. Alright, I've got the lines disconnected from the tank. Now I have to make up my new line, and I have to put these ends inside this tube, and as you can see, it's not real easy. So what I'm going to try to do is use a hair dryer to heat these up a little bit, enough so I can push this connector on. Should have a heat gun, but I don't, so we're going to see if a hair dryer works. Well, that took a little bit of experimentation to get it just right, a little bit of trial and error. And what I ended up doing was putting the hair dryer in a vise, and I'd stick this end in as far as I could when it was cold, and then I put it in the way of the heat there, let it warm up just a little bit, and then I'd take that clip out, I'd put it down on the wood, and I'd push as hard as I could without bending it, of course, and then I would get down maybe 2 notches or so, and then I'd take it back to the heat a little bit, and I keep doing that until I got it all the way up, and now I got a solid connection. The first time I did it, I actually added too much heat, and I was able to just pull that straight out. So you've got to go slow with the heat, because if you get too much, then it'll expand too much, and then you'll be able to pull that out. So I think I've got this good. Now I can run this underneath the truck here, get a measurement, and cut off the line where the fuel filter would be. Well, alright, I've got all the lines in, and I'm just looking for leaks. I haven't seen any yet. But you can tell it runs a lot smoother with that new fuel filter in there. And I'm glad I don't have any leaks. So now I can take these lines and secure them somewhere along the frame so they don't rub on anything. And this will be much safer than that little hose with hose clamps I had on there. That worked out pretty well.